Okay, so everyone, welcome to Koilel Kol Shira, and we're going to do this class in partnership with Breslov.org, as we always do, and we're going to try to do some hachanis for Kabbalah Satayra, Shavuot. All right, so let's try to understand a little bit what is this Yom Tov about. There's so much talk about Shavuot. Really, we understand that the Yom Tov of Pesach, we were taken out of slavery. The Yom Tov of Sukkot, we understand we had the Anani HaKavod, we were protected.
Yes.
But when it comes to the Yom Tov of Shavuot, so we're celebrating the acceptance
I'm trying to follow this.
and the re-acceptance of the Torah. Rabbi Yaakov, we're trying to conduct our class here.
Yeah, it's okay.
You muted it? Okay, very good. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry for that, folks. Okay. Now, but when it comes to Shavuot, there's a question asked, the Shavuot, what are we happy about? HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the whole Torah, all of the mitzvahs. We have so much to do, and there's so much responsibility that we have from the Torah. So is it really something we're supposed to be happy about? If we think about it, we took on such a huge undertaking to take the Torah, and we said Nasa v'nishma, right? If we think about it, it really living a life of hefkerus, living a life of freedom, is that really free? Are we really free if we have no purpose in life? If there's no purpose in life, the whole point of living, of living is for a purpose. And when we understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose us of all of the nations, HaKadosh Baruch Hu offered the Torah to all of the nations. We all know that. And each one asked them, what does it say inside? And each one asked this and that and the other. But we were the only ones that said, Nasa v'nishma. We will do what you tell us. Anything you tell us, we will do. So now we'll understand a little bit. Rab Nassim has a beautiful Torah here in Likutei Halachos on Shavuos, and let's go see what Rab Nassim has to say. V'zeh b'china Shavuos. This idea we were just talking about is Shavuos, Kabbalah Satayra, the acceptance of the Torah, and we have to understand that we're not remembering just something that happened thousands of years ago. We are going to re-accept the Torah this year, fresh, new, for this year. Tafshin Pei Beis. We're accepting the Torah again this year. Ki ikar Kabbalah Satayra haya liskois lezeh shleimus. To get to this idea of shleimus, of completeness. And what is that? Lasais ha-mitzvah b'simcha gedoyla kol kach ad shelayirtza b'shum schar olam haba. Amazing. In other words, we all know that there are many levels in mitzvah performance, right? There are many levels. Right? Some people follow the Torah because they don't want to get punished. Right? They know the Torah says I can't do this, and if I do this, I'm going to get punished. I don't want to get punished, so I'll do what the Torah has to say. That's one level. Another level is where a person learns, he follows the Torah because he wants to get Olam Haba. He understands that there's a world to come, and he studies the Torah because he wants to prepare for himself in the world to come. The same way in this world is a mashal for the nimshal. Right? The person works. He works and he saves money and everything in order so that way when the person comes to an age he can retire and he has what to live off of. So too, when we do mitzvahs in this world, we're putting away for our life in Olam Haba, which is a life of eternity, not a life in this world where a person lives whatever we live, whatever a person's going to live. But we all know no one is exempt from Misa, nobody, right? So the question is, really, when I perform my mitzvah, if it's not really to perform the mitzvah because I don't want to get in trouble, or I'm doing the mitzvah because I want Olam Haba. and that's a beautiful level, and that's a very beautiful level. But the best level is to do the mitzvah because schar mitzvah b'hai alma leika. We know in this world is no schar, but what you do have is schar mitzvah. Right? The fact that I want from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because I did my mitzvah and I enjoyed my mitzvah so much, I had so much joy in my mitzvah, that I ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please give me another mitzvah. I want to do another mitzvah. I want to enjoy it. The same way, if a child gets you give a child a candy, right? The kids like these candies today, all those gummy things and all of that, right? So you give the kid a candy. I want another one. I want another one because he enjoyed it. But that's how Torah is supposed to be. We're supposed to learn. We're supposed to learn a Blat Gemara. We're supposed to learn a halacha. We're supposed to keep a Shabbos. We're supposed to enjoy a Yom Tiv. And we asked the Rebbe Hashem, give me another Shabbos. Give me another mitzvah. I want another mitzvah. I want to daven another tefillah. I want to have another opportunity to give tzedakah. The mitzvah itself I have such joy in the mitzvah that I want to do another mitzvah. That's what it means. Schar mitzvah. In other words, because I had such whatever I accomplished with this mitzvah, please Hashem, let me have another mitzvah. Because we know, everyone knows that the whole Olam Haba that a person's going to have, that we're preparing for ourselves, every mitzvah we do, we all know about that. But now we're living, Baruch Hashem, and when we're living, we have to work on more mitzvahs. It says, Shezeh bechinas isplaklaria hameira. So we know there were different levels of nevuah. There are different levels of neviim. Moshe Rabbeinu was the only navi that's described that had a clear, vivid image. A clear, vivid image. All the other neviim also had an image from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They had their nevuah, but it was obscured. Some were more obscure than others, and some were clearer than others, right? But Moshe Rabbeinu's image was perfectly clear. Just like you can have a mirror. Isplaklari amira merely means a mirror, a clear mirror. The same way sometimes we can look into a mirror. The mirror is very, very clear. The mirror is clean, and you have a crystal view. But sometimes the mirror can be foggy. There could be a haze in the mirror. So you're looking in the mirror, but you don't really see it very clear because of the fog, because of the haze, right? That's the mashal for the day. That's what we're trying to understand. V'Yisrael b'Mamad Har Sinai. When we were standing on Har Sinai, when we were standing at the foot of Har Sinai, when we were there, and we were encamped at the foot of Har Sinai, we were already there. We are already there now. Baruch Hashem. L'kabel HaTorah, Aydei Moshe shezachu lezeh hashlemus, because Moshe Rabbeinu, we know, was zeicha to this shlemus of having this idea of having the clear, vivid image of the mirror. And so we too experience such a clarity. K'maisha kasav panim bepanim di beHashem imachem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to us with a level of clarity. Panim bepanim, face to face. Panim bepanim, zeh bechinas isplaklaria hameira. That's how we experience Kabbalah Satorah. But we know that there was only two of the Mamarim, right? Anochi Hashem Elekecha, right? And Asher Tzitzich Meretz, right? There are two of Mamarim that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, and the Medrash says that we were thrown back 600 mil. Remember we learned that, right? We were thrown back because we heard directly from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we were thrown back 600 mil. Remember we learned that the question was asked. The Kedushas Levi asked the question: How would the Malachim? They brought us back? We were thrown back 600 600 mil, let's say 600 miles, we were tossed back, right? And the Malachim came and brought us back. So the question was, how did the Malachim have the right to touch us? We were so pure. We were so pure at that time. We came out of Mitzrayim. We counted the 49 days of the Sphira. We completed the counting. It was now day 50, which is the 50th level, the 50th gate, the highest level. So we were on a higher level than even the angels were at that time. So the question was asked, how were the angels able to move us and bring us back? It was a matter of do or die for the angels, for all of creation. The world was dependent on us accepting the Torah. Via us accepting the Torah, we were able to give chiyas. We gave life into the world. We gave life into the world. The same way we say every morning, we end off the Maidani, Rabbi Bechemla, Rabbi Munasecha, right? In other words, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has belief in us that we can that we can fulfill the Torah, that we will fulfill the Torah, because via us fulfilling the Torah is how the world exists. And therefore we accepted the Torah at that time through Moshe Rabbeinu specifically, with that level of clarity. Because Moshe Rabbeinu had such a close relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it was so clear, it was so vivid, and we were zeicha to experience that as well. And that's what the simcha of the mitzvah is by itself. That's the whole simcha of the mitzvah. In other words, when we understand that we accepted the Torah mipia gvura from HaKadosh Baruch Hu via Moshe Rabbeinu, that's such a simcha that we, such a small nation, and we were the ones that merited to accept HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah and to become one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to become one with the Torah. As we know, Araisa Kuchabricha v'Yisrael Kula Echad. The Zohar says that, we spoke about that many times. Shezer bechinas simcha shel hamitzvah b'atzma. Shezer bechinas hasimcha shel Shavuos. That's the simcha of this Yom Tov of Shavuos. Kamuva b'divrei Razal. Godol hasimcha shel Shavuos. Kamuva b'Rav Yosef b'Kiyotzei. You know the famous Gemara, Kama Yosef b'Shukah. Right? How many Yosefs were there in the shuk, in the market? But what made Rabbi Yosef the Holy Torah? It was only the Holy Torah. Ki zeichel simcha mitis simcha shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu kiviyachol. We were zeicha to a true simcha. See, people think in the world today they're happy. They made a lot of money. They think they're happy because they have whatever they have, and they amassed whatever they amassed. They think that's happy. That's not happiness. That's not joy. Why? Because if you take that away from them, where's their joy? They're only happy they have it at the moment. But then they need more, right? The Torah said, the Chazal tell us, the person has 100, he wants 200. He has 200, he wants 400. 400 wants 800, and so on and so on and so on. No one's ever happy. They're not happy with it. But where's the true simcha? This true simcha is in the Torah. Because again, a person learns Torah, and every time you're Mavid the Sedra again, and every time you go over the parsha of the week again, you see something new in there that you didn't recognize before. Where do you get that from? Where does that come, that new insight that you didn't see before? That comes from the hasmada that we put in on Shavuos. HaKadosh Baruch Hu judges us what we will accomplish in our Torah learning based on how we experience and how we spend our time on the Yom Tov of Shavuos. Ki hazeichel simcha mitis simcha shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu kiviyachol hainu hasimcha me'amitzvah ba'atzma bechinas esplaklaria ha'me'ira. So does anyone have any questions on this, to understand this idea of we were so grateful that we came to a level, the 50th gate, Shar Chamishim, the 50th gate, and because we came to Shar Chamishim, we were able to accept the Torah with Moshe Rabbeinu from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone have any insights on this that want to share anything? Yeah, go ahead. Does anyone have a question? I can't hear. You have to unmute yourself. Asked here. Rabbi Yaakov, I can't hear you. You have to unmute yourself. Oh, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I hear you. Yes.
Okay. It said 600 mil. Now, 300, we know, is a guzma.
Yes.
Now, 300, in other words, it's a great distance.
It's a very far distance, yes.
Whatever it is, it
Right.
removed from the physical distance.
Yes.
Now, when we say 600, it's twice physical. It can't be twice physical. It has to be, we already have the physical distance. 600 means that could mean that we were transformed from the physical distance into a spiritual closeness because of the spiritual closeness of Hashem.
Well, we did. Well, Yaakov, of course, because the Medrash says that we actually expired. Every one of us, we expired, and they brought it, and the Malachim brought us back to bring us back to life. They brought us back to life.
That's not it's not a physical distance.
No. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's not something physical. We cannot understand. How are we supposed to understand what this means? What we're supposed to understand is, and the reason I mention it is to recognize what a high level that we came to, and what a high level we're coming to now. People, they just, they count we count the Sefira, right? We make the bracha, the Selah, the Shem Yichud. Some people say it, some people don't, right? But we always say, we end up the Harachamon Yasser Lanu as space. How does it go? Harachamon Yasser Lanu. Avoid the space Hamigdash Lemekayim b'Meirav Yameinu. Right, in its place. That's what we say when we count the Sefira. So what are we actually doing? What are we doing when we say that? What are we doing when we say that? We're asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu to bring us back, that we'll actually be able to bring the Eimer, the Eimer Tenufa that we brought, the Eimer Seirim that we brought on Pesach, and then we counted the 50 days in order to what? To be able to bring the Shtei Alechem. We brought the Shtei Alechem. We brought lechem. We brought mamish people food. When we start out on Pesach, we're starting out so on a low level, and we have like a machal behema, the food of animals, right? But when we come to the Shavuos, we come to that high level, and every one of us, every single Jew, comes to that level of Kabbalah Satira again. And we should understand that it's such an amazing, amazing idea to understand what this Yom Tov really is and how empowering it is for us to be able to advance in our Torah study and our closeness to our Kadosh Baruch Hu. Yes, so Yaakov, the answer is it was a guzma, and it was something that we don't understand. It's not necessarily something physical, but we just to understand how the Malachim were able to take us and move us when we were on a holier level than them. How were they able to do that? They had no choice. In other words, if they didn't move us and they didn't bring us back to life, they would have had no life. The whole world would have expired. The whole world would have ceased to exist. So that's why they were able to do it. Okay? Thank you for that comment, Rav Yaakov. Everyone, thank you.